and that can also, worsen their situation and can end up with mental illness. And actually, if young people are not helped to understand that the phone or social media can have positive aspects in your life to build you, but also if it is not done properly, you can end up in problems. Actually, you can end up being sick. You can even end up in an emergency hospital needing treatment. And the reason and the cause is because the phone has not been used properly. And this is where we need to understand. This is where we need to help young people to develop that ability to think through, to have critical thinking, to make decisions before they act anything, evaluate and see the consequences. And this is where we need to help young people to understand that, is what I'm doing appropriate? Is it building me? Is it damaging other people? That relationship, those social feelings, social behavior are really weak among young people.
But Olga, there are some people who are psychotic, right? That they're going to be mad. Maybe can it be through hereditary or something like that in the family? Is it something like that?
Yes.
So what do you do with such?
Psychosis.
Some people can just be crazy, not because of the environment, but within them. There's genetic, right?
Psychosis is losing touch with reality, and we no longer say mad. We no longer say crazy. We say someone with a mental health condition, because someone can get better. Yes, but we have conditions that are hereditary. Even depression, I can get depression from my mother if at the time of being in the womb she had severe depression.
Oh, it can
so
be.
The chances of you having a mental health condition when your mother was pregnant for you are high. The chances are high. But also, you can get it, even if that's not the case. You can get it. We have conditions that are hereditary, including substance use disorders. We've had or seen families where the father used drugs, the son used drugs, the grandchild uses drugs.
So, but now let's look at the Ugandan reality today. If you meet about 10 women, perhaps 7 out of 10 will be single mothers. Raising children in a very difficult environment, very tough economy. There's a way how us men have abrogated our responsibilities and duties. We're not even helping them. Isn't that also driving the Ugandan woman crazy? Providing a mental health condition.
Definitely. I have one daughter, and just one child makes me run around the house. And I have a job, but we have a mother with 4 children with limited financial opportunities. You can imagine, she has to pay school fees, she has to pay rent. Anytime we have demand being heavier than the resources that one can have at a particular moment, then we have anxiety, we have depression, we have feelings of guilt, hopelessness, helplessness, and all those are symptoms of a mental health condition.
And if I add to that, the economic situation, whether with men or women, is a very serious issue, coupled with unemployment, coupled with limited opportunities for survival. And especially in the city, it's very hard. In the village, they can get food. And actually what people do is to ignore things. But you see, one of the factors how people are responding to that, you see many people are going to churches. And these so-called evangelical Pentecostal churches take advantage of most of these people we are talking about. They spend more time praying, they spend more time, promising them and giving them hope. And probably that's why they are moving away from these traditional churches. However, even when they go there, the problems don't go. I think what we need to help our people is to develop ability, capacity to manage, to navigate through. Remember, we are dealing with the brain organ, which is part of the body, and very central to our body, to our functioning, and the way we relate. If people are not helped, to absorb the shock, to absorb this, and then find an alternative way of dealing with it, either by working hard, or by finding a person to talk to, or by moving away from that particular area, these problems are going to change. And at the workplace is worse.
All right. Rogers and Olga, we're going to take a break. When we come back, let's look into where can people go for help? What does it take for somebody to be rehabilitated in terms of money and the drugs and even the professionals that should be handling a mental health condition?
To 8 p.m.
Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Amara. My guests tonight are Mr. Kasire Rogers, Executive Director, Uganda Youth Development Link, and Vivian Olga Kuda, who's a clinical psychologist, and we're discussing mental health. We're talking about all these examples, but we also need to know what are the telltale signs, Olga, that somebody has a mental health condition and needs help, especially in the workplace?
Especially in the workplace. And these wouldn't differ even if it wasn't in the workplace.
Okay.
But when there are changes in appetite, and by changes we mean appetite could be low or could increase, but at least it's no longer normal. There are sleep changes, other people oversleep, other people undersleep, there's low motivation, there's sadness, and sometimes you feel demotivated. But in this case, we are looking at someone feeling like that at least every day for a fortnight. So frequency is important for one to consider, and then the consecutiveness. Withdrawal, sadness, hopelessness, irritability, focus and concentration. So you find someone is forgetful, someone is speaking on their phone, but again they are looking for the same phone. So that clustered. So it shouldn't be one symptom. You can't say because I forgot my phone in office, I have a mental health condition. No. It should be at least 6 symptoms clustered together and happening every day for a period of at least a fortnight. Yes.
And then, because if something like that happens to an individual, I'm forgetful, maybe I sleep or oversleep, or maybe a lack of appetite or too much of it, it is very difficult to know myself that now I need help. Mm-hmm. Is it possible for an individual to tell that now I need to see a clinical psychologist like yourself?
And now we have many people reading up, including young people. We received phone calls from young people as young as 15. I've been feeling like this and I read about it. Can I come and see you? So while we have a huge section of people that are not aware, we also have those that have picked interest. But oftentimes, these people will go to their physician, will go to their doctor. So it's important to bring the doctors on board, the medical people, because they are first-line helpers.
Okay, now talking yes.
I wanted to add, sometimes when I feel sad, or when people feel sad for a prolonged time, when they are developing suicide ideations, the challenge is that they are not seeking help. They are not sharing out. In order to, you see, the first instance would be to ask a peer, or to ask a colleague whom you trust, whom you trust, and share that this is happening to me. Sometimes people are close to themselves. And this type of experience tends to overwork the brain. Because when a problem is shared, it's halfway solved.
A problem shared is...
This culture of seeking help is still very raw. Even at the workplace. People may keep to themselves. You see somebody, you can tell that somebody is sad, you can tell somebody's the way he's acting like a narcissist, is a bully. Probably is trying to react to a situation which is at home. Probably she has a relationship problem with the boyfriend, or things are not working out. And now she takes advantage of this situation to pay back, to compensate in an antisocial behavior, which can be very bad. So the human resource, me as a supervisor, I should be able to say, come, let's talk about it. I may not diagnose your problem, but I may refer you, because now at workplaces there are tools which can help to examine, to diagnose, if they are done by human resource or by a doctor, as has been said, and people will be helped.
Now, talking about diagnosis, Olga, what does it take to rehabilitate somebody with a mental health condition in terms of money? And, because I know treatment in Uganda, the medical bills, sometimes one medical bill can take you back to the village, if you have a village, and even sell it.
What is critical really is the willingness of the person to seek help. So your entire family could drive you out of the house. And as long as you, the individual, is not willing or does not even acknowledge that there is a challenge, that is difficulty number one, or challenge number one. Otherwise, when you come to a professional, the first thing we do is to do an assessment. An assessment involves information from you and from those around you. And then after that, depending really on the condition, do you need medical help as well? And sometimes we have to rule out several things. So there might be medical attention that is required. Do you need to to be...
The mental condition could be also induced by an underlying maybe disease.
Yes, and vice versa.
Okay.
Yes. And then to determine that this person need admission or not. Often the people that need admission are those that are a risk to themselves and or others, or that really require close monitoring. For instance, if someone has a suicide plan, there's a difference between a suicide thought and a suicide plan. Not everyone, and many people have suicide thoughts. It's not that they want, but the nature of the mental health condition is such that one could feel that life is better off dead, with them dead, or they are burdening so many people around them, whatever it could be. And then the plan is that I have rat poison, and tomorrow I actually go to social media and say goodbye. Now that is a plan.
And tell us about the crimes of passion, because quite some people commit crimes of passion. They can even kill. There was a lady in Kayunga who cut off
even in Mutukula
the organ of her husband. That's also mental illness.
It is mental illness because it's a failure for somebody to appreciate the situation and how to solve. Because there are many options how a problem could be solved. But if a lady is angered, she's feeling sad, you have betrayed her. She's feeling hopeless that actually even her last, person is going away. Many times they tend to react very aggressively. And I don't think the crime of passion, where a lady will cut off the man's genital and throw them away, it takes time. It's persistent, taking time. I think what we are beginning to see here is our people need to be helped, that they need to seek help. They need to seek help. There are many things which are stressing us. Even me, I have things which are stressing me. If I tell them,
every person has stress, I'm sure.
But I have a friend I share with. I have a colleague I share with. Sometimes I'm financially challenged. But when I share with a colleague, a solution is found. Even ladies who probably may be angered over a long time by this guy who is betraying her, they could find a way that if such a situation has happened, don't go to the extreme. Don't go to extreme. Actually, even got people who kill, those who kill, many times they have to take them to Tabika to test whether actually they were using substances or their mental state was functioning. There are a lot of tests they can do to examine and be able to diagnose and be able to tell that this one, actually, his situation was worse. And we see these people in our villages.
I understand.
We see them, but we don't help them out, even at workplaces.
During the time of COVID, because we're looking for treatment here and there, people even trying to take marijuana, we are thinking it's going to help. And some people could have gotten hooked on that.
And herbals.
Yeah.
And indeed, because COVID changed the schedule or our routines. So we had people sleeping during the day, and then they would keep awake in the night. And then when it was time to return to work, we also found a number of people challenged because they had to get into another system different from what they were using. So marijuana kept people alert, kept people happy, because they probably shared
There's even a song called Chai Wenjai.
They shared it.
It's very interesting. What you are raising is interesting. Because during COVID, even up to the when people are challenged and are failing to sleep, what they do, they prescribe for themselves drugs like Valium, diazepam. Others, even if they have pain in their body and they feel the pain is too intensive, they buy painkiller. Even they graduate to very strong ones like Pestidine in order to go through that challenging situation. That's what their brain is telling them, that if you do this, and when they use it for some time, they get hooked. And these cases are appearing, and they are contributing. Even when our old people are failing to sleep, they say, can you buy me that drug of mine? I'm failing to sleep. Actually, you could solve that problem of sleeping by not using drugs, by not using prescription drugs. And this is worrying us. When it comes to herbal, you go for a burial site, everybody is saying if you are failing to sleep, if you cannot eat, if you are having this. And if people are to seek professional help, like my sister is saying, yeah, people will be better off. People will be better off.
All right, gentlemen and lady, we're going to take a break, and the hot seat will be right back.
KFM.
Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the hot seat. My name is Patrick Amar. My guest tonight are Vivian Olga Kuda and Dr. Rogers Cassidy. This is the moment when you can also have your say. You pick your phone and tell us what you think. Probably you're going through a condition, probably you know somebody, or probably you've heard a story and you know what you've gone through on the streets of Kampala, wherever you live, on the issue of mental health. I already have a call online. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Patrick.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for that show.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Listen to Echo the Live in Center.
Echo the Mic in Center, okay.
Yes. I want to confess something.
Mm-hmm.
In local family, we are organized group. Within us, and we have different members who join the group. So in 2020, we had a member. We didn't expose because it was a secret from us, the leaders who were there by then. He was addicted to alcohol and drugs. So I tried to coordinate the family to see how we can, what we can help to make sure he's safe with us. But I learned two things in this situation we are trying to help. One, they have facilities we are trying to look for. They are too expensive. And we couldn't afford the money. Then two, the person our fellow member wanted to help. He was not willing to meet the doctor. We even had a medical doctor who wanted to give assistance. First of all, he asked us, let us first get him on board. He's willing to accept that he needs help. But he disappeared from home, so it was a very big challenge for us now to try to help him. So I was just adding my voice to Mr. Rogers, who was talking about someone you need to accept that you need help.
I have another call online. Hello.
Juma Busega.
Yes, Juma Busega. Go right ahead, sir.
Papa Kamara, thanks for bringing doctors to handle mental health in Uganda today.
Yes.
It's alarming. The story is alarming. We have others who are gentle. They are holding even offices, big ones. But sometimes the ideas come when you see a boss, in fact, in the morning, do this and that. You have done that. And this is the very boss who's going to come back after maybe midday. They are coming to say that, you did it too much. Now, how best can we strengthen awareness or sensitization to the public that if you see this kind of sign, report to so and so office. Oh, is there any toll-free number? Whereby if I'm not free as a worker, I can make a communication fluently enough. Then two, facilities. All Ugandans, we dwell on Butabika. But we have not yet got that very much in. You are taken today to Butabika, at least within 1 week, your result is out. That really, you are, okay, let me talk like your madness is too much. You are not going to go back as soon as possible. Then the community will know what to do. Drug abuses, too much. Alcohol, too much. Now, Uganda National Bureau of Statistics, let them come on board. There are some drinks. They are weird, even by color. How you look at the color of what you're going to drink. How safe are you? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Jima. There's a lot of, nowadays we have so many types of, alcohols coming in different shapes. Actually, I've seen one called Busungu. I have another call online. Hello.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you for
What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
I'm James here.
Mm-hmm.
Much appreciate the guest.
Welcome.
Olga, you've left me in suspense. You've talked about a lot of things that I relate to, and I came to realize that actually nowadays I get annoyed so easily. I think that wasn't me. I've tried to seek help, but then I actually got to realize that that was also another stressor because it had financial requirements, which were also part of the issues that I was facing. And I've learned the gentleman talked about how learning to handle stresses. I think I've learned to do that, but are there any other, because whatever you're talking about, a lot of people are going through, like in real time, like right now. I think I've been a victim, the appetite things you've talked about, the sleeping routines you've talked about, even gotten hallucinations at some point of time in my life. And my main question is, how can, and if I have tried, and I think that I've gotten against the wall, but I'm okay. Just like you say, you think you're okay where you're not. I've gotten to that point as well. But how does someone down there, because a few days ago I was walking around Gayaza and I found a lady, she looked like a mother, but she was very well dressed and she was here kung fu kicking people and they were trying to help her. It hit me and said, okay, at what time does someone need to, how does someone get to know that, okay, now this is a time whereby you really need extensive help? Is it diagnosed like you could go and get help? I have a lot of questions.
All right, sir. You made your point, and also using yourself as an example. Let me let my panelists just respond. Some of these are comments, some of them are questions. Maybe do you want to go first, Dr. Kasuri?
I think there need to be a deliberate effort in the Ministry of Health, Department of Mental Health, our friend Hasifa, to go on massive awareness, where they are going to teach people, to describe to people the situation of mental illness. Hasifa needs also to work with other colleagues in the Ministry of Gender, Department of Labor, so that government departments and all departments can put up employment assistance programs, psychologists and social workers help people, so that people can be taught how to seek what? Seeking help. It appears people don't know where to go, and people cannot even describe the mental illness and what happens. But if there is massive awareness about these drugs, massive awareness about mental illness, I'm sure will go a long way. People begin to seek help. I know there is a financial element, but it's better to seek help than to sit at home and say they are going to ask me money, because you don't know what you have with you and you don't know how you can be helped. Yeah.
Okay, Olga.
And also to mention that funding for mental health is really meager. So out of the entire budget for health, only 1% goes to mental health. So that will increasingly make services inaccessible, and hence utilization as well. So that means we have more and more people that need the services, but only a handful can access them. Butavika Hospital has a capacity, and right now they are overwhelmed that they've even taken in more than they should handle. So when the gentleman said that after a week you are asked to go, is because at that point they think that you will be managed in the community, or rather at home. So maybe the question for us as individuals to think about is, what can I do to support myself, knowing that the services at hand are not sufficient? These are some of the things you can do. Exercise, move that body. Ugandans, if a taxi is supposed to drop them at this stage and it drops them a few meters after the stage, you hear Ugandan fighting and quarreling. So we have to get into the habit of moving our bodies. Exercise has a positive impact on the brain. It produces endorphins, hormones that are responsible for happiness. Sleep. Lately we have people who only sleep at 4 a.m., at 3 a.m. People actually sleep for 2 hours. Why? Because they are glued to the phone. Your phone, your computer, and your TV have blue light. Blue light interferes with the production of melatonin, a hormone responsible for sleep. So you also mess up your sleep cycle. If you don't sleep sufficiently, it compromises memory. If you're a student, how are you going to remember? If you're an employee, you'll be the one forgetting all the deadlines. Eat healthy. So instead of KFC, a pack is about 20,000.
Please, stop fighting. Stop fighting the guys who are funding.
So fast foods.
Economic sabotage.
Okay?
I'm joking. Okay.
So once in a while you want.
Don't indulge yourself in fast foods.
But I mean, eat healthy. When is the last time you had vitamins? When is the last time you hydrated? And also check in. Go for a checkup with your doctor. You could be having an underlying medical condition which could impact your mental health.
Okay. This is what we're going to do. Each one of you, your concluding remarks. I'm beginning with you, Rogers.
Okay. My information that young people are moldable. Young people can change. Teach young people to be able to absorb shock, to deal with sadness, to deal with anger, to deal with violence. Teach them to do physical exercise. Teach them to eat properly. Teach them to be social and not to be angry with others. Young people can change. But also teach young people to be careful that there are drugs, there is the narcotics, there are also new drugs, to be careful and not to touch, and to live a healthy lifestyle. We want them safe and healthy.
Thank you very much. Olga, your parting shot?
And I want to leave phone numbers for those that need assistance. 0800 21 21 21 is a toll-free number for Mental Health Uganda. All you need is to have a phone that is charged, and you don't need airtime to conduct.
0800 21 21 21.
Yes, and really to say that we need to go back to the olden days where we support each other. A community that supports each other is a community that holds together.
All right, thank you very much. Vivian Olga Kuda, clinical psychologist, Minders Wellness and Psychological Center Ntinda. I want to thank you. Dr. Kasiri Rogers, Executive Director, Uganda Youth Development Link. I want to thank you, both of you, for having given us your time to explain some of these things. We could go on and on. I think we need another time to be able to look at this issue because it's serious. For you, the listener, I want to thank you for the privilege of your company, and those of you who have called in, I want to thank you so much. And this brings us to the end of tonight's edition of the Hot Seat. Join us again tomorrow, same station, same time. Good night and God bless Uganda.